Hello again, happening.Hope, and welcome to another video. And this one's actually going to be something video game related, so it is. But before I start, I just want to say I hope you all had a great weekend. Hope you all had fun, whatever you're all up to, and hope it went very, very well for all of you, indeed. Pardon me, sorry. My weekend was pretty good. Spent time with family and, all sorts and stuff. It was quite nice, so it was. And it was pretty good, so it was. Obviously, I watched Doctor Who on Sunday, which was absolutely brilliant. Loved it and stuff. A great second episode for this new series. Unbelievably amazing. I think that's something I definitely want to talk about, something Doctor Who related, because I know a lot of people will want me to talk about it and stuff. So, I'm glad to hear that. I hope things been going well for you. So this video is actually going to be something video game related, and it's actually going to be about my thoughts of the potential of Xbox One X only games happening. Now, for those that wondered what I mean by Xbox One X only games, basically what I mean is that, in the future, if it ever happens, we could see Microsoft or even third parties release games that are exclusive on the Xbox One X hardware, but they would end up abandoning the original Xbox One and the S hardware. And overall, do I think that this could eventually happen? And I think on some level, I think it will happen, but I don't know when it will happen. Now, I might be thinking, why do I think it will happen? Now, the reason being is because of the fact that the Xbox One X has a lot of hardware, it has a lot of power inside the machine. It has a lot of potential, so it does. But because of the fact it's held back with the original Xbox One and the S models, it sort of makes it difficult, for developers to stick with all hardware. It would stick with the new hardware. The reason why a lot of developers, all developers, make games for all Xbox One models is because of the fact that they want to try and get as many people to play the game. They don't want to limit their audience, so they don't. And like what was stated back in E3 2016 by Phil Spencer, was that he basically came out and stated that no one gets left behind. So whether or not you have an original Xbox One, the Xbox One S, or the Scorpio, which as we now know as the Xbox One X, that all games will play on all different models. No one gets left behind. And everything has the same compatibility. And that's what Microsoft said. But I also had that sort of question back in my head whether or not we could see exclusive content on, as we knew back then, as PlayStation Neo and Xbox Scorpio, which were PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. And I think on some level, more for Microsoft, they are the ones that really, really need to do this. And I know people might get annoyed, well, Dominic, I thought you care about everyone playing games and stuff. I do. But hardware gets old over time. You know what I mean? They'd be like, for example, Nintendo making games for the Wii. Well, technically you've got Just Dance, but you know what I mean? They'd be like, Nintendo releasing Super Mario Odyssey on the GameCube. You know what I mean? Obviously, that's a bit of a strange and crazy example, but you can't keep making games for the old hardware. You know what I mean? Actually, a better example is the new 3DS. Now, the new 3DS is basically a more powerful 3DS. It has features and enhancements that are not featured or compatible on the older 3DS models. So there were a few games that actually released only on the new hardware. A few were actually exclusive, but some of them were multi-platform games on the PlayStation, the Xbox, the home Nintendo platforms, like the Wii U, even on PS Vita, and even PC. So, you know what I mean? That's how it goes. But the reason why a lot of those games are taken advantage of on the new 3DS hardware, and especially such as Fire Emblem Warriors and Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, is because of the fact that the original 3DS hardware it's impossible to actually run those games on the old hardware. So that's why when Nintendo announced the new 3DS, basically what happened was that they started to plan the game for the new 3DS hardware. So just a quick little story about Xenoblade 3D. The game was originally planned for the 3DS, the regular 3DS overall. But it turned out the developers were unable to get the game to run on the base 3DS hardware, or the 3DS hardware at the time. And they actually had problems to actually run the game. I think what I heard that they were in like 10 or 15 frames per second, or even sometimes lower than that, because they were unable to actually get the game to run on the hardware. So obviously they had problems, but when Nintendo announced the new 3DS, they were quite actually happy about this and thought, okay, this is going to be actually quite good to see how this goes. Once they got their hands on the hardware, bing! Well, that's clicking my finger. I actually can't properly click my fingers. They don't look like it. But what ended up happening was once they got the hardware, the new hardware, they were actually able to easily port the game from the 3DS to the new 3DS. And they were able to make the game run very, very well. And the port is really, really good. Even though it's a port from the Wii version, it's a really, really good game. For like many years, that was the reason why to buy a new 3DS, as well as many game enhancements, which was a really, really good thing. And my experience with that game, it makes it feel like a next generation handheld. Pardon me. It makes it feel like a next generation handheld, even though it's a mid-generation upgrade from the 3DS. It's that good. It feels nice. It really, really does. And it's just the way it goes. And that's why I think when that happens, it gives you a reason to own the hardware. Yes, it aggravates a lot of people, because, oh, well, I just bought a 3DS and now you announce this. I understand that, but Nintendo isn't doing it to make you look like an idiot. They're doing it because the hardware is capable of running those games. The DSi went through the same thing, where that was an upgraded DS that had extra features such as a camera and a more powerful processor, more powerful inside the machine. And there were exclusive games that were unplayable or incompatible on the original DS. And that's just how it goes. And that sold quite well. So with Microsoft, even if they made it as an experiment to see how it would go, it would actually be interesting to see what they would do with that hardware or that horsepower inside the machine. You know what I mean? Because the original Xbox One and the Xbox One S is pretty much holding the Xbox One X back. Because again, limitations of the old hardware is putting down the new hardware. And that's the problem with it. That's why there are games for the 3DS that run okay, but on the new 3DS, they run perfectly fine. They run better. Hyrule Warriors Legends, the 3DS game, basically, if you play that on a new 3DS, the game actually plays very well. It plays the best, so it does. But on the original 3DS hardware, it plays okay, but it doesn't... It plays okay, but it's not the best, so it isn't. And even people were always saying that they should have made that exclusively for the new 3DS hardware. And being truthful here, they should have done that. It would have annoyed a lot of people, but it would have given a reason for people to upgrade to the new hardware. You know what I mean? And that's just how it goes. But also another thing with it is that Microsoft lacks in true exclusive content due to the fact they released their games on Xbox One and PC. And doing that would definitely be a smart move for consumers. The reason why Sony doesn't need it with the PlayStation 4 and the PS4 Pro is because of the fact they have exclusive content that makes you enticed to buy that platform. And that is, the thing about it. And that's why I definitely say Sony doesn't really need it. And obviously those games are enhanced extremely well on the PS4 Pro hardware. The reason why I say for Microsoft is because they have no true exclusives on their platforms. Obviously, the games are enhanced quite well on Xbox One X, from what I've heard. But the problem with it is that the new hardware would give you a reason to buy it. You know what I mean? So, for example, and I know this is never going to happen, but Scalebound, the cancelled Scalebound from last year, It was a Microsoft console and PC dual release, not exclusive. And unfortunately, that game got cancelled. Now, obviously, I've never found out the reason why. I always used to think that it was because of the fact the hardware was unable to play it. But imagine if they brought that back and made it an Xbox One S, an Xbox One X, and a PC dual release. If for people who are just playing game consoles, that would definitely sell quite well. It would hurt for a lot of people, but it'd be a reason why to buy it and upgrade to the new hardware. You know what I'm saying? And that is the thing about it. I'm not saying this to make people feel like idiots or Dominic don't care about the people that have regular Xbox Ones. I'm not saying for that. It's just that the new hardware is there. It has potential. It really, really does have potential. If Microsoft came out tomorrow and stated that some game was going to be released only for Xbox One X, but also releasing on PC, I wouldn't be annoyed. But you'd have a lot of these people on the internet going, it's unfair, Microsoft's breaking the rules. You know what I mean? It's just how it goes. But the thing is, technology's gone through the same thing. You know, all of the Apple products, you know what I mean? Mobile phones, computers, everything technological has gone through the same stuff. You know what I mean? So it's nothing new. You know what I mean? And that's what people have got to understand, but they don't think that. They think when you buy a game console, you've got for like 5 to 7 years because of what happened during the 7th generation. You know, the 2008 economic crash that happened. Pardon me. The consoles ended up lasting a lot longer. You know what I mean? So people are used to that. At the meantime, even though consoles usually last about 4 to 5 years. You know what I mean? So that's how it goes. But my final question about it is, do I think we will eventually see Xbox One X only games? Being truthful here, I think we could. I don't know when, but it's a possibility it could happen. And it would be a good reason for Microsoft to do that, especially when their console is lacking in so much exclusive content. It would help people. It would also help sales, but it would also give a reason for consumers to buy the Xbox One X. It really, really would. You know what I mean? Even if they, for example, Crackdown 3 was an Xbox One X and a PC dual release, that'd get people out to buy Xbox One X consoles. You know what I mean? It would go out and buy, it would make people buy it. Because not only would you have, again, this is just quite, fair as I was saying, just a bit of a think, really. You know, if we ever saw that happen, you'd have Xbox One X only games. Obviously, it would have full compatibility with the Xbox One library, because obviously it's still an Xbox One but more powerful. So it would be fully 100% backwards compatible with the Xbox One games. And then also would have the compatibility with the Xbox 360 and the original Xbox. So you'd essentially have like 4 systems in one platform. And that would give a reason, for people to upgrade. Because you could say, well, not only are you getting these new true exclusives only on the Xbox One X, but it also enhances your old games, you know what I mean, from the Xbox One, and supported games from the Xbox 360 and the original Xbox. You know what I mean? Nintendo's done it many times with the 3DS, the DSi, and the Game Boy Color even. You know what I mean? So you've got to think of it like that. You can't say, oh, well, I hate Microsoft, I'm not buying their console. Then that's a bit of a stupid thing to say. You know what I mean? So they wouldn't be doing it to make you look like an idiot. They'd be thinking smarter. That's what Microsoft needs to do, is that they need to think smarter. One of these days, they just need to say, okay, let's make games only on the Xbox One X hardware. Let's abandon the S and the original Xbox One. Do that. You know what I mean? Sony will eventually do it. You know what I mean? I think Sony will eventually do it, where they'll end up making PS4 Pro only games. They keep saying they won't, but I think on some level we could see that. Even maybe after when PlayStation 5 and Xbox 2, whatever they call it, could launch, we could see PS4 Pro only games and Xbox One X only games. It's a possibility. It could happen. It might not happen, but it's just definitely something I've been thinking about lately and stuff. So I could see it happen. You know what I mean? But it would definitely give a good reason for people to upgrade to the new Xbox One X to the Xbox One X. So just want to say thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit different and stuff. Well, 16 minutes. I know it's a little bit different, but I wanted to share my thoughts about this, so I did. So I just want to say thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. And I'd love to hear what your thoughts are about this. Do you think we could see Xbox One X only games ever happen? Do you think the same with the PS4 Pro? Do you think it will never happen? I'd love to hear what your thoughts about that are. Just want to say thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you all later. Bye!